Today, there are going to be some new books available, one of which is extremely useful. Although first, what have you got? More barrier core never hurts to have. Even though I haven't used any yet. I will definitely use more of that soon, trust me. Well, I mean, not exactly soon, but I mean, I'll use it at some point. Changing careers. That's not actually what we're looking for. We may as well get it. Oh, I must have skipped over a few books earlier. But you can never, like, fully miss the books that you can buy here. The one that we really want, and it's very expensive for a reason, is Hyperspeed Reading. And since it's not a book that raises social stats, I'm guessing it was exclusive to Golden. But yeah, we now have that, so if we read it, it's going to make our reading go by much quicker. But today, we're actually going to be doing... Do I have a magician persona on me? I don't think that I do. Yeah, Yosuke is usually at Juness when he's not at school. Yeah, at this point, after you've done rank 5 of Marie's social link, everyone here talks about seeing her for that rank up. Oh yeah, that summer homework thing, don't worry about that. We'll take care of that automatically at the very end of summer vacation. Just like the vast majority of high school students, we're going to put off our homework until the last minute. I don't recommend that, but that is pretty much what I did back in high school. I put off most assignments until, like, the weekend before. Oh great, not you again. Well, that's not what you said in your interviews. Well, yeah, you should have thought about that before you started taking absences without telling people. Well, I mean, he might have, but that's all in the past now. And that's true. Has absolutely nothing to do with the fact that you're both bad workers and you shouldn't blame that on other people. I think you're the ones who think you can get away with anything. Yeah, we kind of heard that from the TV world. Yes, we sort of do. We probably know more about this than you.
Damn it.
Wasn't exactly a bunch of crap. I mean, you needed to get that off your chest for a long time, I think. So A is the best option here.
No.
And I think this actually does slightly change the social link later.
Thanks.
Yeah, the points for that one were a little bit delayed. rank 7, so no skill from this. I will forever associate that card with getting ridiculously broken skills in shuffle time. And now you can endure stuff, which honestly would have been really helpful back during the Shadow Mitsuo fight, but oh well. Yeah, it might be best to at least try and keep them on. It's hard to know what to do in those situations.
Welcome home, big bro.
And tonight, it's yet more hospital janitor time, but I forgot to catch bugs in the afternoon, so I'll go ahead and do that now. It was mentioned to me in the comments, this is the method that I'm using, to press the X button right as the net crests that fence post in the background. That was way too early. But yeah, you get the idea, it's like one of the shorter fence posts there. Another subplot going on with the people of this town. Oh, looks like the boss isn't here today. No. Yeah, well, we'll keep that in mind. Also, I'd like to do that, but, we'll have time for that much later on. Our nights are spent going to the hospital to have a questionable relationship with a nurse. So, if I've read things right, we don't need to select any dialogue options for this one. And yeah, blah blah blah, ghosts, blah, courage, blah, we don't need any of that anymore because our courage is maxed. Is this because of the patient who died? Yeah, we don't even get to say anything this rank. I think it's a combination of things, though. It's both that and also that she's just immersing herself in work to forget her problems.
Goodbye now.
But if she keeps this up, she's just gonna ruin her own health. So much signs of love. We're hearing that over and over now because no school. And another call we're gonna have to reject.
This is Naoki.
Oh, sorry, yeah. We're not gonna hang out with you today.
I see.
Well, if there's one constant between P4 and P3, it's rejecting phone calls. Of course, back in P3, if you, promise to spend Sunday with 2 different people, and, yeah, you would end up reversing one of them instantly, so they're not nearly as cruel about that now. Yeah, Scapegoat Eggplant takes a long time to harvest, it seems. Next shipment of books comes in on the 24th. Man God! And Food Fight, this description is great. This actually increases the effects of the Mega Beef Ball, and, well, anything from Aya, but the only thing there that matters is the Mega Beef Ball. But by the time we finish reading that, we're not really going to need to do the Mega Beef Ball all that much. We can kind of fuse down to Queen Mab. I don't really like losing Parvati like this, but it is going to get me a pretty good Queen Mab. That might let me fuse up to some decent things later. And now Queen Mab hath been with us. Oh, it's another skill change day, okay. But that's a pretty good skill, but you're a low-level persona, I don't really care about stuff. Let's do... Not bad. Definitely not bad. Oh, you're back. I don't think either of you are his girlfriend. Yeah, it's like right as the net crests that, I'll point it out in an annotation, that particular fence post. So thank you for pointing that out to me. We fused a lover's persona, I think you know what that means.
Oh, senpai.
Finally, we get to start this. After hearing her talk about Marie. Yeah, he's kind of changing his tune pretty quickly.
Oh, senpai.
Anyway, what we actually came here to do was to talk to you. And so we properly begin one of my favorite social links in the whole game. Well, good thing Chie wasn't here. She'd probably convince you to try and eat more. Especially if people start, recognizing you and asking for autographs. This actually is the best option here.
Gee.
You know, that is kind of true. Often it is nicer to actually sit somewhere. Oh, now I finally notice it. Yeah, it does say Atlas on the side of the vending machine. Yeah, we know Rise's grandmother. We don't know a lot about her parents. Yeah, Rise sounds like a lot of those, people who were child actors who had to be schooled on set for most of their lives. Like, I think the kids who are in Harry Potter were kind of like that. Rank 2 gives Rise a new skill. Weakness Scan. Weakness Scan is actually a very interesting ability, and I'll get into that next time we're in a dungeon because how it works is a little complicated. It's really useful though. Didn't we already go over this at one point?
Let's go, senpai.
I mean, we vaguely found out about what kind of guys you liked in your dungeon, but I doubt how
Welcome home.
completely trustworthy that information is. And so today we're supposed to just do the hospital janitor job again, so yeah, again, I am very ahead with that. I wish like we could do more of Ayane's nighttime events, but yeah, not really, sadly. Okay, so another mandatory spend time. I had a feeling it would be. I'm still one day ahead with this one, which might save me a bit of time later. And thunderstorming today. This is kind of a fake-out deadline day if you're, if you still haven't caught Mitsuo yet. And the TV schedule has been updated. That's a new, lecture from Mr. Edagawa, so I still would like to show more of those. I was originally thinking of putting, like, relevant ones at the start of certain episodes, but it quickly, got to the point where it would have made things drag on way too long, and I just couldn't really find a way to work those in. Except the first one, because I really wanted to show, like, what exactly shadows, were, that whole lecture. I guess I'll make them separate videos eventually. I didn't even show the full first lecture, by the way. There's a whole bit of stuff on the collective unconscious that I didn't get into because it wasn't exactly relevant at the time. So what we're going to be doing today, because there isn't much else we can do in the rain, is to take a long ride on the scooter. Which is going to boost courage, but we don't need that anymore. It's mainly important for something else. Because after a few rides around the neighborhood, we unlocked Okina. Long rides unlock something else, and hey, it's the place we passed through on our first day of school. This was around where they found Saki's body, actually. At least the stat-up animations are very, very quick in this game. One thing that does annoy me a lot about Persona 5 replaying it is that the animations for your social stats going up are really long, and they still play even when you've maxed that respective stat. It gets annoying pretty quickly. Even speeding through them with the fast forward button doesn't help that much. But we are gonna start reading hyperspeed reading today. Like, I think I've vaguely heard about speed reading and stuff back when I was doing books for English classes, but it never really helped me. I read very, very slowly. That was always a problem with me in English classes. I like text analysis and I like writing essays, but some of the books were just really hard to get through. And yeah, you actually do get a boost to certain stats if you read while it's raining. Today is going to be another relatively uneventful day because we're just going to do exactly what we did yesterday, go on a scooter ride and read hyperspeed reading. But we do have the home shopping program. It's Paladin Armor! Durable yet light armor! Oh my goodness, I can't believe its wonderfulness! I'll add longevity peel ×2 to your Paladin armor, all for the low price of only 20,800 yen. Kitchen knife, the popular item returns, for sale! On top of this, I'll add myth-like sword ×1 to your kitchen knife for only 12,800 yen. I haven't done it in a while, so I thought I may as well. So 2 weapons for around 13,000, or the Paladin armor. Paladin armor is really good, but like I said, there are some very good Croco Fur outfits that are coming up that I really want to show. So I might want to save my money. Like, I don't really need super great armor right now. Unlike Okina, we're going to be unlocking the thing from long rides pretty soon. Like, tomorrow, actually. And tomorrow's going to be a very, very important day for another reason. One of the things that I was looking forward to during the summer vacation.
Welcome home.
And once again, reading hyperspeed reading, because it's very, very, very useful, and unlike vanilla Persona 5, it's obtained much earlier. Yeah, the hyperspeed reading book in Persona 5 was just kind of, not that great, because by the time you finally got it, there wasn't much left to read in the game. They fixed that in Royal, though. Oh, great, another call we have to say no to.
Hello, it's me.
Oh, you again. Yeah, no, sorry. I seems like the kind of person who would not like it if you said no to her calls, but it's not going to impact the social link schedule at all. If we take a long ride on the scooter again, we'll actually end up in a unique event that doesn't use up any time. So that's kind of cool. You only need to use up time twice to unlock this then. Because this is the place that we reached last time, except now we got there during the day. This is actually the beach that we planned on going to back at school, but we've got here early. There are quite a few things that we can do at the beach. Firstly, we can fish. We can also spend the entire day gazing out to sea because you Narukami. Doing this is interesting. It causes whatever persona you have equipped to instantly learn the next skill in its available learn set. So for example, you know how Jack Frost learns a few skills up until level 20 and then doesn't get Mind Charge until level 25? Gazing out to sea is a decent way to get Mind Charge on it early, for example. But it does use up the whole day, so be careful with that. You can also swim, which increases courage, and return to Inaba, which, yeah, from now on we can go to the beach anytime we want and it won't use up time, unless we actually do something there. So we're gonna do fishing. And we can't fish here because we only have a river rod. So now we can return to Inaba. And now that we've done that, finally, we can make a start on the Fox's Rank 10 quest. Because what unlocks the old man actually talking to you about the Guardian is attempting to fish at the sea at least once. This is a little bit confusing because even if you accept the Fox's request before you've done that, you won't get any dialogue out of this guy even though he has a quest marker. He'll just keep giving you the fishing tutorial. He is going to make kind of a deal with us. So, in the original version of Persona 4, catching the River Guardian was all you needed to do for Hermit Rank 10. This has changed. Catching the River Guardian is now only step 1. So yeah, the River Guardian. I think if we talk to him again, we can ask him about the Guardian. Well, that's kind of nice backstory. And that's really all he's saying. He's not actually going to tell us that the Guardian, I'm pretty sure, only appears on rainy days, and you need a certain type of bug to attract it, which is the Inaba Jewel Beetle. And from what it seems, Inaba Jewel Beetles can't show up until you have the option to catch the Guardian in the first place. But we're going to ignore fishing for a little bit, because we're going to do something very, very special. You remember what rank this was last time, right? Well, I mean, at least, she'll be tasting their food, not yours.
Oh.
We can spend time with her for the last time we need. Now, just to clarify something. The guide that I'm following says persona no longer needed, but really, you don't need a persona once you've got to rank 9, and you talk to her again and it says your relationship will become closer soon. You don't need to carry a matching persona during rank 10, because points don't matter at this point. The social link is guaranteed to max now.
Yes.
Are you sure? Last time something of hers looked delicious, it tasted like nothing.
Don't worry, it's good.
Yukiko's cooking was actually good for once? The ultimate character development! And by the way, this is exclusive to the platonic route. This does not happen on the romance path. And the story will probably forget this, and her cooking will be horrible the next time she does it in the main game, but yeah. Oh well.
Is it good? Really? Thank goodness. Oh, well, of course it is. Half the cooking was done by the head chef. He took over again. But he told me I've gotten a lot better. I'm also thinking of continuing my studies for a job license. I don't plan to leave anymore, but I thought I might as well. I'm glad I realized sooner. If I'd struck out on my own, I know I would have regretted it. I wanted to become completely self-sufficient. But I think I was being presumptuous. I have the inn, I have my family, I have the waitresses and chefs. I am who I am now because I was raised by such a kind group. When I think of it that way, my problems aren't just my own. That's why I'm going to stay here, by my own will.
If you have any familiarity with Japanese mythology, you probably know who Amaterasu is. But if not, Amaterasu is the Japanese sun goddess, and one of the most important deities in traditional Japanese mythology. She was born from Izanagi after he cleansed himself of the filth from his trip to the underworld. She came from his left eye, while Tsukuyomi the moon god came from his right eye, and Susanoo the storm god was born from his nose. In some accounts, Amaterasu and Tsukuyomi together ruled the heavens for a while Susanoo was assigned to the seas. Until Tsukuyomi killed another deity and was branded as evil by Amaterasu for it, and thus day and night were separated. Amaterasu's relationship with her other brother Susanoo was a little more complicated. Let's just say they had a major case of divine sibling rivalry going on. And their conflict escalated to the point where Susanoo offended her so badly she chose to shut herself away in a cave for a while, depriving the world of light. But she was lured out by Ame no Uzume, and she and Susanoo eventually reconciled. Many ancient texts claim that Japan's emperors are descended from Amaterasu, which is something the government milked for all it was worth during the Meiji Restoration, but I won't go into that here. She's also famous for Japan's 3 regalia, the Yata no Kagami, a mirror, Yasakani no Magatama, a jewel, and the sword Kusanagi no Tsurugi, which incidentally form the basis for Amaterasu's 3 weapon types in Okami. In gameplay terms, Amaterasu serves as Yukiko Amaki's awakened persona. In Persona 4, party members awaken once their social link reaches rank 10. Their stats change slightly, and in Yukiko's case it's a little weird. She loses 1 magic and 2 endurance, but she gains 2 agility and 1 luck. This is a bit of a downgrade overall, but on the other hand, her fire resistance turns into an immunity and she gains a resistance to electricity. Unfortunately, she keeps her ice weakness, and she did that in the original PS2 version as well. Amaterasu got indirectly buffed in Golden simply from the fact that she wasn't nerfed, while a few other awakened personas were. I'll get to that later. However, as you'll see in a few moments, we will be getting an ability to mitigate the weakness somewhat.
This is my new power? The power you've shown to me. Power I will treasure. want you to have this. It's a charm from that shrine to protect you. I think of you as an irreplaceable friend. No matter how far apart we are, even if we never meet again, that feeling will never change. You're dear to me.
Skaha comes from Irish mythology. Her name literally means shadowy. She's primarily known as the mentor of the hero Cuchulainn, and most notably appears in The Wooing of Emer, and forgive me if I mispronounce a lot of these names, I don't have a lot of experience with Gaelic. The longest story in the Ulster cycle, it tells the story of Cuchulainn's journey to prove himself to a chieftain so he could marry their daughter. The chieftain, not approving of the match, sent him to train with Skaha in what is now Scotland, secretly hoping that he'd die at some point on the way. But Cuchulainn proved to be a bit of a Gary Stu and was basically invincible. Skaha trained him and taught him how to use the legendary spear Gaybolg. But while he was there, Cuchulainn began an affair with her daughter, was challenged to a duel by her daughter's lover and easily won. So Skaha promised her daughter to him. He later helped in the conflict between Skaha and her rival, and in some sources twin sister, and if Valkyria Chronicles is any indication, this name is pronounced Aoife. Anyway, Cuchulainn distracted her, defeated her in battle, and promised that he'd let her live under two conditions. First, that she end her feuding with Skaha, and second, that she bear him a son. And in some sources, Cuchulainn sleeps with Skaha as well. So it's a story about how one man, in his quest to marry the woman he loves, ends up sleeping with three entirely different women. Not to mention that even after all of that, the chieftain still wouldn't let him marry the one girl that he set out to marry, so he invaded his castle, killed a whole bunch of his men, killed him, and abducted her. Oh, and he later ends up killing the son he had with Skaha's rival without even realizing it was his son. Weird mythology aside, Skaha is the ultimate persona of the Priestess Arcana in Persona 4, a title that she maintains from Persona 3. In that game, she was a hybrid physical and magical attacker, but here she's mostly focused on magic despite having a solid strength stat. She primarily focuses on ice and wind skills, and learns both Ice Amp and Wind Amp, along with Mind Charge. It's also not too hard to fuse Ice Boost and Wind Boost onto her, so I find she's a very good late game Ice and Wind user. I do say late game though. One thing with Persona 4 is that most of the rank 10 social link personas are very, very high level. We're not going to be able to fuse most of them until the last few dungeons. But once you are at level 79, Skaha is definitely a persona I'd recommend. The skill I've highlighted in orange is the skill card she'll give if you take her to Cafe Chagall. Amrita would normally be a very good skill card, except that by the time you have access to it, you probably have access to the skill card for Salvation, and so why not use that? And we, well, get a trophy for maxing out one social link, and we get a new skill out of upgrading Yukiko's persona, Evade Ice. I like the way that this is handled metaphorically, because everyone's weaknesses, they don't go away completely, but they've now learned how to deal with them and how to better face them. So, I generally like to keep these skills, but Yukiko's skill set is very, very crowded, and that can get to be a bit of a problem. I want to keep that. I want to keep that. I guess right now, I feel like I mean, she's not at risk of repelling attacks onto herself because she's now immune to fire, so spamming AoE fire attacks is probably fine, although the accuracy is going to be a bit lower.
I've never known any boys who I could call close friends. I'm very happy. Let's talk, shall we?
So I'm assuming that's the first time a lot of you have seen the platonic ending of Yu-Gi-Oh! Social Link. I think it's very good. It's actually one of my favorite platonic rank 10s. A lot of the dialogue is the same between the two versions.
You're home.
The romantic ones take place somewhere a bit different, let's just say. We'll be seeing that later. And have a few different interactions. But a lot of the dialogue about her character development and resolving to stay there of her own free will, and no matter how far apart you are, you'll always be dear to her, that's all still there. Tonight I'm going to save reset abuse to get a certain bug, but while I'm on the way to that, I can talk a little bit more about that. Yukiko's Platonic Rank 10 has a lot of moments in it that are not in the romantic version. Most notably, the fact that she actually manages to improve at cooking. Okay, there we go, we got an Inaba Jewel Beetle, and that was first try too. We just need one of those, and we'll come back for more later. We actually need at least two, for reasons that you'll see a little later on, that made me freak out the first time I read that part of the guide. We're getting closer and closer to Yu Narukami's ultimate battle. I'm really looking forward to it. Some people are disappointed that I haven't played with the cat yet. I'll probably do it when I have free time at some point just to show it, but yeah. Sadly, we have other things to do right now. Like finishing hyperspeed reading, which is going to be amazing because that's going to let us immediately finish catching bugs, and also expert fishing will finish that a lot faster as well. We're going to need both of those very soon. Books that originally would take 2 days now only take 1 day. Books that originally took 3 days now take 2 days, and books that took 4 days originally now take 2.